Just the current talent, the current WWE talent crop with a few extras kind of thrown in there as well. You know what I mean? Hey, we got a. No, go ahead. We have a. We have
exactly what you mean.
we have another phone call. He's been holding on for a second. Legend Killer from the live chat room. We're live on WZR Radio. What's up, man?
Well, nothing much, man. I heard you unmute me, but I was gonna let y'all get what y'all had to say out real quick. I was just sitting back, just listening up, man. But nah, it's been a couple of weeks since I've been around. Just busy with school and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But it's good to be back, though. I was able to catch the second half of the show.
Oh, thanks for coming, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. But I was gonna say, like, what's your look on like the Money in the Bank this year? Because in my book, it's just horrible. Probably the worst Money in the Bank match that WWE's done so far.
It should be an interesting one, though. They threw in some bigger guys on. I guess maybe that would be the major difference.
That's true. I mean, there's a couple of guys that, like, in my book should have got in. A lot of people might agree with me. I mean, like, I know Evan Bourne, but, you know, he was out on injury. I can understand that.
Well, Evan, all right, so we've got, let's look at it here because we haven't talked. We've got CM Punk, right, who's awesome, you know, awesome in-ring talent. MVP, yep. Great work, right? So you've got those two, great work. You've got Shelton Benjamin.
Shelton Benjamin's proved he's really good.
I mean, he's awesome. You've got Kofi Kingston in there who's awesome, you know. Just, I mean, his work on Raw and SmackDown last week against Edge over on time. I mean, that was a great match between those guys.
I'm actually glad to see WWE actually do something with him.
Yeah, you've got Christian in there. I mean, Christian's been in ladder matches, you know, and then you've got Finley, who's a great stiff worker. Now, all those names that I just listed off are really decent, and then you've only got two big names. Your last two in there are Kane and Mark Henry, and the only reason that they're in there are just like Jose said, are your gimmick spots. But I think between CM Punk, MVP, Shelton Benjamin, Kofi Kingston, Christian, and Finley, I think those six guys can tear the house down. And then Kane and Mark Henry are just kind of in there as, you know, just for your
powerhouse.
Yeah, you know, I don't think it's that bad of a ladder match. I mean, it's a ladder match, you know what I mean? And you know, you got Shelton in there, like I said. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have your big cool spots, you know.
Yeah, it's good because like I remember at first, like everybody was just like, "Oh, it's gonna be horrible," because it was just Kane, Mark Henry, and CM Punk, and like I mean, I don't know if anybody agrees with me in chat, but I was actually thinking that might put Tyson Kidd in that. I know it'd be kind of quick to throw him in there, but I mean, he's just been phenomenal since coming to ECW.
Yeah, I think they're only gonna go with these 8 guys. So we've already got the 8 guys confirmed. I mean,
I read a while back, but I know they already got them all confirmed. But everybody was thinking that he was gonna get in. I mean, personally, I thought he was gonna be in it.
Well, I like it when they put in, you know, smaller guys like Evan Bourne and Tyson Kidd, you know, guys like that you know can go in there and have a great match. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you also have to look beyond that as the guy that wins this thing is going to go on and basically, I mean, if the past is any indication, the guy that wins Money in the Bank is going to go on.
Champion before too long.
Yeah, he's going to be a champion for at least a short period of time. And Evan Bourne and Tyson Kidd, yeah, they'd be thrown in there as two guys that, you know, would do great in a ladder match. But as far as world champions, they're not viable. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's a good point. I got to ask you, though. I've been asking everybody. Who's your pick for this year, man? Who you think's getting it?
Who do I take in Money in the Bank?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Christian, man. Gotta go Christian. Just you know, I'm going with Jose's. He said hold off on Christian, man. Just give him a little bit and see where they go. If it's not Christian, I would say maybe MVP.
That's who I'm picking. MVP is my pick for this year.
MVP?
Because I remember WWE's been talking for like months on end how they're going to push a main event. I mean, this is the perfect time to do it.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yep. All right, man. Well, that's pretty much all I really had to say.
All right. Thanks for the call, man. I definitely appreciate it. All right, buddy. We'll talk to you.
See you next week.
All right, we'll talk to you soon, man. Thanks again.
All right, later, man.
All right, yeah. All right, we let's get into WrestleMania, Jose. Let's run down the card here from top to bottom, where I try to go back into the live chat room here. We'll get there in a second. But WrestleMania, top to bottom, run down the top matches.
Well, of course, you know, you have the main event. You have the triple threat match. You have John Cena as the challenger. You have Big Show as the challenger, and you have the champion Edge as the champion. Of course, this match is interesting. It's certainly going to bring out the absolute best between John Cena and Edge to carry out the Big Show. So,
they had that match last night on Raw too, and it wasn't that. I mean, you had the Vicky Guerrero interference, but you know, it wasn't bad, man. Edge and Cena's work, you know, I give Cena a lot more credit for you know, for what he does. You know what I mean? I think his work has come in leaps and bounds since he came up from OVW back in the day. You know,
he's definitely improved. I mean, there's so many people that hate on him, and you know, I don't particularly like his style in some sort of way, but what I like to see, and I'm calling it, mark my word, by the time this year end is over, John Cena is going to be heel.
A heel, huh? You think John Cena's going? Nah, man, I can't. You know, I thought about it a couple weeks ago, man.
You have to. Each single time when you're over the way he is over, eventually they turn heel, a.k.a. Stone Cold, a.k.a. The Rock. Those guys always turn heel, and the reason why you need to do that is because people like us hate him, you know. And
but
eventually,
okay, they're gonna send him over to SmackDown, right? All right, they'll send him over to SmackDown with the title. I think he wins the title at WrestleMania. I think they send him over to SmackDown. He'll stay a face to feud with likely the Big Show because Edge isn't going to be around. Taker, I've heard, is going to go to Raw. So you have Triple H, Taker, Orton. I mean, Raw's going to be stacked. You know what I mean? Batista, I've heard, is going to head to SmackDown. We're going to do a draft special here in the next couple weeks where we're going to talk about some of these names. So Batista over to SmackDown, Cena over to SmackDown, Taker over to Raw, Triple H over to Raw. You know, that's what I've heard so far. You know what I mean? So you'd send Cena over to SmackDown. He'd be a face for at least some while. You know what I mean? And then a possible heel turn later down the line. Maybe Edge comes back as a face, and then he would turn Cena heel at that point. That would be possible. But I think in the short term, at least after WrestleMania, you said by the end of the year. So we have some time here. I could see it. I could see that, no doubt. Now that I think about it, I said no at first, but now that I think about it, it's possible. It is possible.
I'm telling you, it would only be logical if they decide to do that, because again, in order to get someone over in that regard, it's going to get tiring eventually, him just the way his character is, and you got to bring some sort of, you know, spunk, some sort of like chemistry behind it, and to do so is to do a swerve that absolutely no one expects it.
Alan 22 from the chat room. You're live on WZR Radio with what's on your mind.
Hey guys, how's it going? This is Alan in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
What's going on, man?
Hey, two quick questions for you tonight.
Sure.
One is, what do you guys see happening with Jericho post WrestleMania?
Post WrestleMania Jericho plans?
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. What do you think, Jose? Jericho post WrestleMania plans. So he goes on, he faces the legends at WrestleMania. And then that's a really good question, man. We could Flair's going to be there a couple weeks after WrestleMania. Flair's not going to do a match with him, obviously, but he's going to be there. He's got a 10-day deal with WWE. That includes an appearance at the fan access that they're having. It includes an appearance at the Hall of Fame, an appearance at WrestleMania, Raw the next 2 weeks as well. So he's going to be there for at least a week or two after WrestleMania. And then what they do with Jericho, that remains to be seen. I think it depends a lot on what happens at the draft, who goes where, and I think we'll see some big new storylines after that draft takes place.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Jericho gets drafted to SmackDown.
Yeah, that's possible.
To have some sort of program, I mean, Jericho can also fight for the IC title, whoever it may be, and I'm sure it'll probably be Rey Mysterio. So that can be a program right there for those two guys.
Hey, what do you guys also think about, what do you think Evan Bourne's going to do at WrestleMania? What do you think he'll play?
Evan Bourne at WrestleMania, I don't know that he's going to play any role at all. ECW is looked upon, you got to remember, ECW is looked upon as their developmental territory just with a TV deal. You know what I mean? It's, everybody wonders, what they're going to do with ECW. Is there going to be an ECW title match? Honestly, ECW is looked upon as just a